The sun was just beginning to rise over the cracked desert plains outside the New Mexico Space Research Center when Dr. Elena Reyes first learned of the alien ships. She'd pulled into the center's parking lot, balancing a half-empty coffee in one hand and her phone in the other, the headline screaming unidentified fleet appears in Earth's orbit. If it hadn't been for her friend Calvin's urgent text that simply said, "Get inside now, because you won't believe what's happening," she might have driven right home, convinced the news was one big cosmic prank. Inside Mission Control, voices erupted in conflicting demands. Holographic displays of Earth's orbit projected across the room, revealing hundreds, maybe thousands, of massive spacecraft arranged in perfect, silent formation. Alien, metallic, each so large that the assembled fleet cast a shifting darkness on the satellite imagery. No lights, no signals, no signs of hostility. For all anyone could tell, this silent armada had simply arrived. Elena found her longtime colleague, Commander Darryl Jameson, standing at the largest display. His hair was disheveled, and he looked like he hadn't blinked in hours. "Good God, Darryl, are we really sure about this?" she asked. He shrugged, tension twisting his lips. "Sure as we can be. These things popped out of nowhere, then stopped. They're just watching us." Elena's skin prickled. "What do we do about it?" Darryl's gaze flicked across frantic technicians. "We wait. We watch them back. Might be the dumbest plan on Earth, but it's all we got right now." The world's panic turned to fascination in the days that followed. Governments argued about the right response. In a rare show of unity, the United Nations convened an emergency summit. Dr. Reyes was invited to speak, along with top leaders and scientists from around the globe. Hushed speculation filled the halls. Why haven't they made contact? Could this be a show of force? What if they're waiting for us to open fire to justify their attacking us? Elena pushed through the crowd and discovered a heated argument underway between the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Helen Barrington, and Sergei Volkov, a Russian official notorious for his hawkish stance. Volkov spat. "We can't wait around for them to strike first." Barrington cut him off, rushing in with guns blazing. "That's how we start an interplanetary war, you fool." The tension in the room was thick enough to choke on. People hammered the table, shouting over each other, their eyes darting nervously to the giant screens broadcasting the orbiting fleet. Elena cleared her throat. "Look, I'm not a politician. I'm a scientist, for crying out loud. But I can tell you, we've got no reason to believe these ships are hostile. Yet, they're either waiting for us to do something stupid or testing our response. Maybe they're just observing." Barrington glared at Elena. "Observing for what purpose?" Elena raised her voice a notch. "We don't know, but if we come at them with missiles, we might never get the chance to find out." A hushed silence followed. Then Secretary Barrington leaned forward, eyes narrowed. "All right, Dr. Reyes. We stand down. But if you're wrong," she let the threat dangle. Government agencies established contact protocols and built specialized labs for potential alien interaction. Elena worked closely with Commander Jameson in a high-security hangar, picking apart alien signals or transmissions, if there were any. So far, their instruments only heard static. Late one night, while Elena toiled away over spectral analysis, Jameson approached looking pale as a ghost. "We might have gotten a ping," he said. Her heart hammered. "From them? From them, or from something they've sent down. Our satellites picked up a small craft. It's heading toward Earth's surface." They scrambled outside where the entire base had come alive, floodlights scanning the night sky. An overhead alarm blared and a wave of excitement and dread surged through the crowd as a shimmering metallic pod descended like a falling star. It left a faint blue contrail before landing softly in the desert basin. Everyone rushed to put on protective gear, form a perimeter, and aim every camera possible at the pod. After a few intense minutes, an opening appeared on its side, a sliver of darkness slicing through the hull. Out stepped a tall humanoid figure clad in pale, skin-tight armor. Its large black eyes blinked slowly, like it was adjusting to Earth's atmospheric light. Elena stepped forward, trembling but determined. Jameson was at her side, rifle lowered but ready. A hush blanketed the watchers. The being took one step, then another, hands held out as if to say it meant no harm. Elena dared to speak. Can you understand me? An eerie moment stretched into what felt like an eternity. Then the creature answered with a single soft word that resonated in every mind present. Peace. Relief and confusion battled in Elena's heart and mind. Commander Jameson stared, speechless. The soldier in him whispered it could be a trap. But for that moment, no one fired. Following the encounter, world governments cooperated to arrange a secure facility deep underground near the base. Elena and Jameson, among others, led the first official meeting with the alien, dubbed as Shin. Communication was tricky. Ashen seemed to speak through a method that was part telepathy, part audible mimic. In a sanitized white room, Elena tried to keep calm. She forced a reassuring smile at the being across from her. Ashen, we're honored you're here. We'd like to know more about your people. Why your ships are in our orbit. Are you studying us? Ashen's expression was blank, but a wave of mental understanding washed over them. Its voice echoed in their heads, layered and distant. Wait for the great opening, Earth's readiness. Jameson frowned. What's the great opening? And how do you know if we're ready? Ashen paused, blinking slowly. Then it raised a slender hand to its chest. Observe, measure your hearts, your conflict. Jameson's patience ran thin. You've got to give us more than that. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and a sharp, agonized wail filled the air. Ashen convulsed, clutching its own throat. Alarms screeched. The overhead speakers crackled with urgent orders to evacuate. Before anyone could react, armed agents burst into the room, shouting. One was Secretary Barrington herself, face grim with determination. We have new intel, she barked. Volkov and his people have launched an attack on the fleet. We've also picked up unidentified transmissions from other sites. Some of our own generals are going rogue. Elena's heart thumped. Attack? Are they out of their damn minds? Barrington stiffened. They won't listen. They believe a preemptive strike is our only option. Nuclear warheads are inbound toward the silent Armada. Ashen had collapsed to its knees, trembling in shock or terror. Elena knelt beside the alien. You guys are gonna kill us all, she said through gritted teeth. Barrington's voice faltered. We can't stop them. They severed the chain of command. This could trigger the war to end all wars. Nukes streaked toward the silent Armada like fiery arrows. In a matter of minutes, the situation escalated to full-blown crisis. Entire cities braced for retaliation, while doomsday preppers fled to bunkers. Social media exploded with nuclear threat, alien invasion, the silent Armada. On the main base's control screens, Elena and Jameson watched as the unstoppable wave of missiles approached their silent targets. Then the alien ships moved for the first time, shifting into a shielded formation. Then a brilliant flash of blue light enveloped the orbiting spacecraft, and Earth's sensors registered an energy output that was off the charts. And then, to everyone's surprise, the warheads disintegrated on contact with the glowing barrier. Jameson let out a low whistle. They're deflecting nukes like it's child's play. Before the cheering could start, the Armada began to spin. Each craft repositioned, pointing metallic protrusions downward. A cold sweat broke out across Elena's brow. God help us. They're about to fire. The next moment, luminous beams rained from the fleet, striking not Earth cities, but the nuclear silos and rogue military bases that had launched the attack. The destructive force was immense. Video feeds showed missiles, tanks, and entire runways reduced to slag, but not a single civilian target was touched. Barrington, stooped by shock and relief, muttered, They're sparing us. Looks like they're only hitting the aggressors. Jameson clenched his jaw. They're sending a message. Don't try that again. But from behind, Ashen's weak voice entered their minds once more. We do not come to conquer. We come to prepare. Elena felt a strange mix of gratitude and fear. Prepare us for what, Ashen? In the following days, the planet reeled from the aftermath. Nations condemned the rogue attacks while praising the aliens for minimizing casualties. However, paranoia still lurked in many minds. If they had power like that, what else could they do? Some global coalitions demanded the aliens leave. Others begged them to stay and share their technology. Against this swirling backdrop, Elena and Jameson stayed close to Ashen, trying to glean more intel. Ashen had recovered enough to walk the base corridors under tight guard, though in truth, it was more protection for Ashen than for them. Barrington herself often loomed in the background, suspicious but reined in by the near-apocalyptic fiasco they'd narrowly avoided. One late afternoon, a hush fell over the entire compound as Ashen gestured for Elena and Jameson to follow it to an open courtyard, away from prying eyes. Rays of the setting sun painted the desert in deep orange and purple. Ashen looked up, slender face angled toward the sky. Then its telepathic whisper came again. The great opening is soon. The watchers of your planet, not the only watchers. Others will come. Elena's heart skipped a beat. You're not alone. Ashen turned, eyes reflecting the sunset. We tested you, saw your instinct for war, but also your capacity for mercy. We judged necessary to intervene. Now, a greater threat approaches. Jameson didn't like the sound of that. So you're telling us this is just a preview? There are more aliens on the way. Ashen nodded slowly. An ancient enemy. We sought to unite your world. If you are divided, you cannot survive. A stunned silence followed. This was bigger than anyone had guessed. Elena felt dread coiling in her stomach. Maybe the silent Armada was a shield, a guardian, or maybe it was just one side of a cosmic war about to play out in Earth's backyard. By the end of the week, strange flickers began appearing on Earth's deep space sensors. Something massive stirred beyond the far side of the moon. Governments renewed old rivalries, but after witnessing the devastation the Armada could deliver, and hearing rumors of a much worse threat, they had little choice but to stand together. Elena, exhausted and fraying at the edges, paced in the command center. Jameson watched the screens intently, lips pressed tight. Secretary Barrington, full of forced calm, barked into a phone, rallying the newly forged international fleet. It was a bizarre sight. U.S. destroyers, Russian carriers, Chinese subs, all aligning under a single mission to protect Earth at any cost. Suddenly, a klaxon wailed. A technician shouted, "We have movement!" Another alien presence is emerging from behind the moon. Camera feeds switched to an enhanced satellite view. 5 colossal vessels, each dwarfing even the largest of the silent Armada's ships. Their surfaces bristled with spines and glowing orbs. Jagged and menacing, they advanced into Earth's orbit. Ashen appeared behind Elena, eyes wide with dread. They have come. They bring consumption and ruin. Jameson's stomach turned. Well, that's just lovely. Chaos engulfed the planet once again. The new alien fleet began charging weapons, and the original silent Armada moved into battle formation. Lasers, shimmering arcs of plasma, energy blasts lit up the void. The Earth-based coalition watched breathlessly from the ground, powerless to do much more than spectate. Then the smaller alien ships in the silent Armada started to explode, one by one, under the immense firepower of the invaders. Even their formidable shield technology faltered. Earth's leaders urgently deliberated. Should we offer assistance? Is it within our capability to provide aid? In a moment of shocking unity, the combined Earth Defense Forces launched. Fighter jets soared beyond the atmosphere, carrying newly adapted technology gleaned from Ashen's minimal instructions. Missiles with alien-based shielding aimed at the spined warships. Elena and Jameson stood in the control center, hearts pounding. Barrington ordered, "To all ships, fire at will. I repeat, fire at will. The battered Silent Armada regrouped with Earth's newly born Space Force, forging an uneasy alliance in real time. In the space around Earth, a raging cosmic dogfight erupted. Some of Earth's pilots fell in flames, their vessels no match for the advanced alien weaponry they faced. Others managed to land critical hits on Earth's newest cosmic foe, their projectiles bursting across the enemy hulls in spectacular fireworks of metal and fire. Inside the chaos, Ashen guided Earth's communications, sending telepathic warnings of impending enemy moves. Dodge left. Accelerate. For the first time in history, humans fought side by side with an alien ally. But the enemy was relentless. Their largest warship was powering up, an ominous sphere of crackling energy, preparing for a final, monstrous strike. According to Ashin, it wouldn't be too long before it was ready to fire. And if unleashed, it could consume half the planet with one blast. Elena's voice broke with urgency over the comms. We've got to stop that thing. Right friggin' now. A strategic plan was rapidly formulated, assigning Jameson to head a crucial mission with a select group of elite fighter pilots. Their objective was to breach the enemy's defensive perimeter and target the core weapon system of the colossal warship from within. Earth's leadership, despite being destabilized by a recent civil war, an ongoing space battle overhead, and the swift progression of events, were unified in their support of this bold initiative. Ashen volunteered to guide the infiltration. This is our duty. We help, or all is lost. G-forces slammed everyone back as they launched their assault in experimental craft with borrowed alien shielding. The hulls of the newly crafted spaceships rattled dangerously as they raced towards their objective. Laser blasts whipped by as they sped towards their target. Debris from both sides of the battle drifted like a graveyard in space. With a battle raging around them, they finally gained access to the inside of the colossal warship's interior corridor through an open shaft wide enough to fly a fighter through. Jameson's squad raced the ticking clock. One fighter pilot snapped under the strain and, screaming in fear, jerked the controls too sharply and spiraled into a fiery collision, bits of molten metal spinning away. Another of their ships took a direct energy blast, and the ship vaporized in a flash. The corridor lit with horrifying intensity. Jameson clenched his teeth. Stay on target. I have a visual on the core, and once we destroy it, we hopefully destroy them. Ashen's telepathic guidance pulsed in the group's minds, steadying them. The alien led them straight to a pulsing red sphere of crackling energy at the heart of the warship. Elena's voice came over comms and was trembling with resolve. We've set the warhead's timer for 60 seconds. Let's pray that we can get out of here in time. Magnetically guided bombs were deployed towards the designated target. The bombs adhered to the target with a distinctive sizzle, and their countdown indicators activated. Jameson engaged the throttle, causing his fighter craft to accelerate to maximum speed, closely followed by the rest of the squadron. As the infiltration team shot back into open space, the enemy flagship erupted in a blinding flash. The entire monstrous craft cracked open, spewing debris and cosmic fire. In the vacuum's silent explosion, the rest of the enemy fleet buckled, losing formation. The Silent Armada seized the advantage, unleashing a coordinated assault that obliterated the last of the invaders. The entire battle that was taking place in space was being broadcast around the world as it unfolded. And when the people of Earth saw the huge alien ship being destroyed and the combined forces of Earth's new space fleet, with the Silent Armada destroying the remainder of the alien fleet, cheering erupted around the globe. People spilled into the streets, hugging strangers, tears of joy and relief streaming down their faces. There were no demands made from the original alien Silent Armada, no vengeance. They had risked themselves to protect Earth. Elena and Jameson crawled out of their battered ships on the runway and were greeted by stunned onlookers and a shaky Barrington. The secretary's voice shook. You did it. The whole planet owes you. Jameson tried to grin. Let's just be thankful we're still breathing. Ashen, scarred and exhausted, emerged from the battered alien craft that had carried it. The tall figure stood among the human victors, silent but resolute. Earth's defenders had proven they could unite and fight for something greater than their petty squabbles. And then came the surprise. Without warning, the entire silent Armada began to ascend further from Earth. Their battered ships realigned, forming the same impeccable formation. Ashen gazed at Elena, imparting one last telepathic echo. "We will return. The great opening is your future. You have taken the first step. Survive together." A silent hush fell as Ashen vanished in a shimmer of light, rejoining its people. Within minutes, the silent Armada vanished into the vast darkness of space as swiftly as they'd appeared. The only clues they had been there at all were the burnt-out husks of the enemy fleet orbiting Earth and the unspoken knowledge that Earth had just been tested. In the weeks that followed, Earth began rebuilding. Peace talks replaced fear. Nations realized how close they had come to annihilation, not once but twice. Jameson was promoted to oversee a new global defense initiative, championing cooperation over competition. Still, Elena felt an unsettling pang every night she looked up at the sky, remembering Ashen's words. "The great opening is your future?" One evening, while analyzing data from the wrecked enemy ships, she stumbled upon a startling discovery hidden in the power cores. Strands of DNA, human DNA. It was woven into the alien technology like a key ingredient. Elena froze. "What the hell is this?" It was a quiet revelation. The threat they faced wasn't wholly alien at all. Some offshoot of humanity, or an engineered species using human genetic material that had nearly destroyed the planet. Maybe Earth's ancestors had left the planet eons ago, or these others had harvested stolen genes from Earth's past. Elena realized with a chill that the lines between friend and foe might be blurred in more ways than any of them had imagined. She silently whispered to herself, "Human or alien, maybe we're more connected to the stars than we ever guessed." She considered telling Jameson or Barrington, but something held her back. Perhaps the planet wasn't ready for that truth. Maybe that had been Ashen's hope all along, to nudge Earth toward unity before revealing just how entangled humanity was in a cosmic web of life. Elena tucked away the classified data, vowing to share it only when the time was right. As Earth celebrated its newfound unity, Dr. Elena Reyes looked skyward, wondering if the next visitor would be friend or family. And somewhere beyond the stars, the silent Armada and countless other eyes silently watched.